Starting off today, this is 10th University, and we created this podcast to find those rare people that have a rare mindset. I'm talking if it's 100 people, they're in that 10th percentile. And today we have my guy, Cornelius, and we're going to get right into it. I want him to speak on the other side of business that we don't know.
All right, greetings everybody. My name is Cornelius Smith. I'm from the city of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm many things: a husband, a father, teacher, student, and an entrepreneur. And I got about I have a for-profit business and a non-profit business as well. They're both titled F.A.R Movement, and I'm here with my dog Roosevelt, and we gonna talk about business.
Yeah, F.A.R movement. I remember I worked with you a little bit on that, and I was gonna be like the.
You still are.
Yeah, let me say it. Still are. You know what I'm saying? Production's on a pause right now on me because I'm doing all this stuff. But yeah, I remember we doing the shirts and figuring out how to promote the business and the brand, the mindset. The mindset was huge on there. You speak about F.A.R brand mindset.
Yeah, all right. So F.A.R movement is more than just a company. It's a way of life. It's an ideology. You know, as he stated, it's a mindset. So what F.A.R stands for is flight at risk. And that's a metaphor for understanding that everybody in life, you know, we're all on our own different journeys, on our own different paths, and we just liken that journey to a flight. Right. You know, flights can be 12 hours, 2 hours, you know, however long you're on that plane. But you got to understand that once you begin that journey, there's certain liabilities and risk. Just like in life, there's certain liabilities and risk. You know, various things that could make you fumble on your path to try to keep you from getting to your destination. Right. So F.A.R movement is all about understanding and learning to recognize those risks and being comfortable with taking them. Because we were not created to have a spirit of fear. You know, fear is probably the downfall of man. And nothing great was done because somebody was afraid to do it. You know, they all took risks, they all took chances. And so we just wanted to teach, you know, the masses to be comfortable with not being afraid and to be aware of these different risks, because as F.A.R movement says, to be aware is to be alive.
It's tough, man. That is tough. So I remember you were saying that you also was a teacher. I just want to tell everybody. He was my calculus teacher, man. I didn't pass. Let me say that. I didn't pass. But it was not his fault.
I tried.
Yeah, he definitely tried, and I definitely was a pain. But yeah, so you definitely helped me out on that. But yeah, on the business though, like a lot of people, they think, you know, business is sweet. You know, the first couple sales or whatever, everything is going good. But what happens when it doesn't go good? You know, what happens when you meet that plateau? Like, what about business is so different than any other thing you ever had?
Well, it's every day is not the same. You know, you can have very productive days. You can have very productive months. You can have a productive year. And then inflation hits and the cost of doing business goes up. And, you know, the amount of money that's coming in does not equal the amount of money that's going out. And after a while, you know, as entrepreneurs, you know, we putting our own money into this. Now, mind you, we got bills, you know, life expenses, various other things to take care of. So you talking about putting excess funds or creating excess funds, which is also a very stressful thing to have to come up with. You talking about creating excess money to put into your love, you know, your child, right? But as a parent, I make it happen for my other kids. So as an entrepreneur, I have to make it happen for that child too. So, you know, it's a very slow grind sometimes. And a lot of people are afraid of that slow grind because they love the rush of when you winning. And let me tell you, winning feels great. There is nothing, there's no better high, there's no better feeling. You know, sex doesn't feel as good as winning. you know. Let me tell you, winning. Look, DJ Khaled was on to something. Winning is great,
man.
But as a businessman, you're gonna take more losses than you win. Folks just got it. Folks need to realize that.
Yeah, man. I remember, posting on Instagram saying that first step is never sexy. And the next one's after that. And the ones after that, too. Because the business is very fluid. I have minimal business experience, but just the amount that I'm exposed to, the first thing I learned was you got to roll with the punches. Oh, yeah. Because on the outside, okay, it looks like we have everything professional. Everything is set here, boom, boom, boom. And the customer, they're all happy, Behind the scenes, it could be like, oh, you forgot the woo. And it's like, behind the scenes, it does get ugly, So, shout out to the business owners, man. We appreciate you guys.
Y'all the goats. Anybody trying to be an entrepreneur,
right?
Anybody trying to chase their dreams, trying to fulfill their own purpose in life, you are a goat. Facts. Nobody ever told you. You've been told here today.
Facts.
Let that marinate in your spirit and boost your self-esteem.
Man, you kind of just spoke a little bit about it, but I want you to give some advice to some young people that's like, I want a business, I want a brand, or I just have something I really want to work on. Can you help us out? Cornelius?
I'll try, Rose. All I can do is try. So for anybody with the aspirations to, just create something of their own, right? Everybody is not equipped to go to college. Everybody's not equipped to go work a standard 9 to 5. And definitely everybody is not equipped to be an entrepreneur. So let me put that disclaimer out there. Just because Sunbiz or whatever state you live in will gladly take your money for you to file your LLC and for you to create your corporation does not mean everybody needs to go down there to the division of corporations and start one. It is not for everybody, and it's definitely not for the weak-hearted, but for those who have dedicated themselves to starting this journey. I got about three key tips that I could give you. Number one, pray. I don't care who you pray to. I don't care what you praying for. You are going to need a relationship and a connection to something greater than yourself to get you through those dark times. Pray. Number two, have a clear understanding of what it is you are willing to offer. One of the mistakes that FAR movement made is, like I told y'all, in the beginning we were a conglomerate of 10. That's 10 different people with 10 different skill sets. And everybody wanted to do what they were good at doing. You cannot offer 10 different services in the beginning. Okay? You got to just spread yourself way too thin. You can't even offer 2 different services in the beginning. You got to find that one thing, that one good product, whether it's, you're creating something, whether you're designing it, whether you're, selling it, whether you're a speaker to people. Find that one service, that one good that you are going to brand, market, and push out for your business. And focus on that one thing. Once you build and you got some financial backing behind you, then you could spread out to other areas. Pick one lane and drive in it. And then lastly, stay humble, y'all. Don't let the wins get to your head. I realize I said earlier that winning feels great because it does. It does. But you got to be able to learn to appreciate the losses too. You know, I've had a lot of fun and losses. It's been some painful fun because Lord knows I ain't want to lose. But nevertheless, I've had a lot of fun losing because it was a teaching moment. You know, I was able to take away some good key wisdom that allowed me to, you know, adjust how I was moving and, you know, go get that win later on. And it's those wins. It's those wins. Whether it's, you know, only one a year, one every 2 years, you know, however frequently they come, it's those wins that's going to keep your business afloat.
You just dropped the gem right there. Actually, you sprinkled a couple of them, man. You expensive, dog. But another thing is, I'm not sure what was your position in FAR movement. You know, it was 10 different people, a lot of different personalities. But what was your role? And yeah.
All right. So in the beginning, in the original conglomerate, I was always a businessman. I come from a line of entrepreneurs. As a child, I used to assist my grandfathers and my father in their entrepreneur efforts. You know, my dad's dad was a lawyer, so whenever I went to his house, he just gave me law books to read. Learned reading up on statutes and stuff. You know, my mom's dad was a pastor. So whenever I was at his house, he gave me the Bible to read, the Quran, the Torah. You know, he wasn't just stuck on one religion. He wanted me to know the truth. So he gave me, you know, so he developed my spiritual relationship. Whoa. And then my dad was a jack of all trades. You know, my dad would go cut your grass, file your taxes, and all of the above. So, you know, he had me out running the streets, you know, and seeing his hustle and seeing how he moved. And right now he sells fuel. You know, but dad does a lot of things in life. Yeah. So coming from that background, I already had exposure and the experience of being business minded. You know, my older brother graduated from FAMU with his master's in business administration, focusing in accounting. So, you know, watching him going through college and reading his old textbooks and, you know, chopping it up with him, I was exposed to the world of business at a very early age, you know. And then you throw where I grew up at, Old National Highway in the south side of Atlanta, Georgia. But 98% of us is some hustlers. You know, I don't know nobody broke. Yeah. Now, I know a lot of people in poverty, but I don't know nobody broke. You know, everybody got some type of hustle. Yeah. Okay, they got some type of means to make some money. So I just was entrenched in commerce and in business. And so they brought me into the fold of FAR movement to be the business front. You know, I was the guy who they were gonna sit in, go discuss, you know, prospective businesses with different corporations. I was the guy who was responsible for setting up the legal just infrastructure of the business, making sure that we was registered with the division of corporations, you know, and ensuring that we was copyrighted and trademarked both our names and our products, and you know, all of the different little paperwork for taxes you got to file every year. That was my responsibility. And in the new iteration, I kept that same role, but more, because it's just two of us. So, you know, so now it's, my official title is Chief Financial Operator, but I'm also the Chief Operations Operator. You know, I'm the guy who's going to ensure that how we need to operate and what we need to do and what we stand for and how we do it gets done. And, you know, and my business partner, he's the chief executive, you know, our officer. He, you know, we are 50-50. So whatever ideas or products that we decide to sell or come up with has to be agreed on by, you know, both parties. And that's just how we move. You know, we just like Batman and Robin. You know, the dynamic duo. We get it done out here. Yeah. And yeah, man, that's what it was.
That's real, man. I can definitely tell that you wearing many hats. You know, you just said two chiefs. Yeah. Might as well say just chief in general.
Big
And your dad, that's yeah. Shout out to you, bro. Strong man, man. Mm-hmm. So another thing I want to talk about was accounting, right? Mm-hmm. So I got a friend. He works for Affinity, Rondo. Shout out to Rondo, mm-hmm. and he just let me know like from making the product to it's just so many little details in the process. I didn't know. It was like, okay, well, how many covers do we have, and we got to pay for all of those and count that into it. So like, what is that like, man? Like, I never heard of that until now. You know.
Correct me if if I'm wrong. Well, actually, not correct me, but forgive me because I don't proclaim to be an official, just accountant. So my accounting jargon may be off, right. But it's all about checks and balances, right? And there's a every month I'm responsible for creating a financial spreadsheet for my corporation. It entitles all of our expenses, all of our profits, and it details specifically where every last penny went to. Mainly we do it this way because the government requires that you account for all of these finances. But it's also it's also a good practice because when you start to make money, it's easy to lose track of what you spend it because you begin to believe that you can always make it back. But in those days where you're not making money, but you still spend it, those are some dark times. So for us, we hold ourselves accountable, and neither I or my business partner is allowed to touch a penny out the business account without verification from the other member. It's all about keeping track of every receipt, every email, every card swipe. Right. And we don't. I don't trust my bank account to or my bank, even though shout out to Wells Fargo. y'all do good business. Yeah. I don't trust. I don't just leave it up to y'all to keep track of my money. We got to keep track of our money. Right. Cause humans make errors. I just want you to just let that be known. Humans make errors, and I myself make errors. I'm not perfect. But it's all about checks and balances. So when it comes to accounting, just be honest. If you're a sole proprietor, keep up with all your documentation. Keep up with your receipts. Keep up with everything, and just be mindful of what you're doing. And if in a conglomerate, just be open with your partners. So all the money, everybody can account for it.
Okay. On 10th University, we have a couple things, right? So one, we're big on networking. So is there anybody out there, I'm talking, it could be a photographer, it could be a mechanic, could be anybody in the world that would help you out or help your team out? Just give them a shout out, just somebody that could help you,
Shout out to Mr. McLaughlin at the Small Business Committee. SBIC, he has been a great help to us, guiding us and mentoring us as we go through this entrepreneurship. Shout out to, I got a couple of colleagues that's in the engineering world, Preston Hall, Perez Johnson. They keep me up to date on technology and different ways to incorporate technology into our endeavors. Because, see, I'm more of a hands-on kind of business person. I'm going to come to you, sit down with you, be in your face, pull out my paperwork and my spreadsheet, maybe even bust out a PowerPoint or two, right? I'm real old school, but It's 2020 and times are advancing, right? So I can maneuver with technology, but I don't keep up with it. So shout out to them for, keeping me abreast with all of the new technological tools. And shout out to my wife, babe. Shout out to the wife. She's really she is because her network is so big, and she just introduces me to her colleagues and her peers and puts me in positions to get sponsorships and funding and things of that nature. So, behind every great man is always a greater woman, right? So shout out to the wife.
True.
And that's it. That's pretty much my network.
So I have one last question, right? And this is important because without helping other people, you're limiting yourself, because there's no human out there that can do it all by themselves. Right. So what way do you help serve people?
Well, my service to people comes from my nonprofit. My nonprofit is all about lifestyle counseling and mentoring. So right now we have about 17 different clients that we deal with on a regular basis, and I just I open up to what a lot of people tell me that I should charge for, which is my time and my knowledge, but that's not who I am. That's not my spirit. So I open up and I create time to give back and to educate those who just need some guidance in life. And if anybody is interested in reaching out to me for that guidance, or reaching out to my team for that guidance, then you can just check the description in this video, and my information will be there, and you feel free to to shoot us an email.
Man, it's been a pleasure having you on today. Cornelius, you did your thing. You gave insight to the business world, the ins and outs, even talked about your endeavors. And dog, you're entertaining, man, to say the least, man. You put some flavor on it. And we dog, listen, we will definitely have you on the show again. I'm talking like again. All right, man. Awesome. So wrap it up. And 10th University, only 1 out of 10 make it in.